Evan Chandler's position about Jordie's decision was absolute. Over my dead body, he told him angrily. You cannot spend all of your time with Michael Jackson. I won't allow it. Enough is enough. Well, you can't stop me, Jordie said defiantly. I'll do what I want to do. Oh, Lord, that right there. When you start saying to your parents, well, you can't stop me, there's something going on. Blink. I'm not going to say anything because I don't want to fight you moonwalkers. But something is going on. At 13 years old, you're starting to have certain feelings either about girls or boys. But maybe Jordie has those feelings towards Michael Jackson. And to be the devil's advocate, he could be misinterpreting Michael Jackson's action, as he would later recall it, had begun to think that Michael was gay and that perhaps Jordie might be as well. There was no other explanation, he thought, to such obsession. Okay, pause again. My bad for talking. I had a lot of coffee. But in a life, that is very possible. You see it all the time because what happens is you got gay little boys who families will not accept them for who they are. They become runaways. Because I know a little boy whose father had asked him, you can stay in my house, but do not dress like a girl. When you turn 18 years old and move out, you do what you want. I didn't see anything wrong with that, but a lot of people say, nay, that's not right. He should be able to be who he want to be. Well, I mean, there are rules. Okay, period. Like if my mother said to me, Nene, don't wear short skirts, I'm not going to leave out the house with a short skirt on. I'm not going to do it. Now, when I get outside, I'm going to pull that short skirt out, but I'm not going to blatantly wear short skirts in my mama's face. You disrespecting me now. And allow your children to be who they want to be. I'm not that person. Because especially around adolescent time, I'm telling you, you are your most confused. But anyway, it was a little boy whose father asked him not to dress up that way. And what ended up happening was the father warned him. The final time, the father broke his arm and put him out. Now the little boy is a high-paid prostitute. She's trans now. I'm sorry for calling him a little boy, but she's trans now, but she's a high-paid prostitute. And the little boy at the time was only 15 when the father put him out. So it's very possible for a child that age, 14, 15, 13, 14, 15 years old, to get put out, especially little gay boys and gay girls. Parents put them out on the street. You don't want to do what I say do. Get the fuck out. A lot of kids that's out there that have to have a sponsor. And a lot of those sponsors be old men. You hear me? And they be wearing them little boys out. That's right, Lulu. Because that's where you find the most security, with someone older who is more established. Not somebody your age. So a 13-year-old being with a 35-year-old, and it's so sad. But it happens so much in the life. So much. Hell, one of my girlfriends left me for a fucking 15-year-old. Girl, whatever was going on, though, he felt that he needed to reconnect with his son. If the two could better communicate, he might then be able to figure out the problem. I'm sick about all of this, he told Jordie. We love you so much. Why have you turned your back on us? You can have Michael in your life, he concluded, but you can also have us and everyone else. When Evan went to embrace his son, Jordie was stiff and unaffectionate. Jordie didn't want to hear what Evan had to say, and Evan would later say that he felt then that he was losing his son to another man, and that he became more determined than ever to stop that from happening. He had no recourse but to lay down the law. You're going to that damn dance, Jordie. You are not spending the night with Michael Jackson. You never liked Michael, he said as he stormed off. You acted like you did. Michael told me that's what was going on, and he was right. In the end, Jordie did not attend the school dance. He spent the night with Michael. On July 7th, 1993, Evan Chandler struck a damaging blow to Michael's friendship with Jordie, and also as it would happen to his own relationship with his ex-wife, June, when he filed for a modification of her custody agreement. The documents petitioned the courts to forbid Jordie from going anywhere near Michael and from visiting him at any of his homes or anywhere else. Evan requested that Jordie receive psychiatric help to determine the full extent of Michael's influence on him. He also accused June of nurturing the relationship between Jordie and Michael, which he viewed as unhealthy, because according to what I know, she, June, receives expensive gifts, cash, and vacations from Jackson. In the affidavit, Evan declared that he had discovered that Michael routinely spent the night with my son and they slept in the same bed. I then asked him directly if he was having sex with my son. Jackson refused to give me a straight answer. He rather told me that he would continue sleeping with my son and that he thought it was cosmic and that he and Jordie were made to be together. Okay, pause. I don't know which way to sway when it comes to Michael Jackson. I don't know if he's doing inappropriate things or whether he is just that delusional. You have some people, and I'm not going to say it, because you motherfuckers gonna start crying and I don't want to hear that bullshit. But you have some people that they don't know it's wrong until somebody else do it to them. It's not cheating when I do it, but it's cheating when you do it. So some people don't recognize the problem within themselves, but they can recognize it in other people. That's why Michael Jackson was not realizing, okay, you don't want Jordie to be conditioned, but you're conditioning him. So I attribute that, a lot of his behavior, to mental health. Maybe narcissism, because it's extreme arrogance that you don't want to consider somebody else's feelings. But I'll move forward. Michael was hurt and, of course, angry. He was also still willing to consider the option of sacrificing his own wants and needs in order to allow Jordie some space to reconnect with his parents. Rather, he viewed the adults in Jordie's life as validation of his personal philosophy that grown-ups cannot be trusted, are certain to act in irrational ways, and can be counted on to sink to the lowest, most base behavior. You see all that judgment? But he don't see what he's doing to Jordie. You see what I'm saying? Like, when you can't recognize bad behavior in yourself and only other people, that's what makes him narcissistic. Now, we're not psychiatrists here or psychologists or therapists or anything like that. I'm just reading the comments. And a lot of you guys have called Michael Jackson a supreme narcissist. If Evan had Jordie's best interest at heart, Michael reasoned, surely he would allow such a loving friendship to continue without questioning it and assuming the worst about it. Plus, the heart wants what it wants, and Michael Jackson wanted to be with Jordie. Now that Evan Chandler had filed such damaging court papers against June, there was no way she could trust him. June's estranged husband, Dave, agreed with her that Evan was a threat. Would he take his claims against June further by claiming that she had been an unfit parent, by allowing Jordie's relationship with Michael to continue? Would he try to obtain complete custody of Jordie? I don't know Evan. I don't know that nigga. Okay? But I do believe that he has some jealousy, because the person who has control over Jordie receives the gifts. That's what I see. Okay? And Evan can't handle that. That's too much pressure. That's my son too. But on the other hand, what I understand as a child victim myself is that one of the things you wish when you are in a situation and you're being molested or actually taken advantage of as a child is that someone would step in. You might not understand it when you're young, but when you're older, you're going to reflect back at it and be like, at least my dad stepped in to care. You know, because it's a lot of parents that be like, let's just pretend it didn't happen. And at least his father cared enough to say, yeah, we might need to step in on this. Would he take his claims against June further by claiming that she had been an unfit parent, by allowing Jordie's relationship with Michael to continue? Would he try to obtain complete custody of Jordie? Over the next week, Evan continued to be a problem. Michael, June, and Jordie did not trust him and wanted as little to do with him as possible. They had not returned his telephone calls. It had been almost a month since Evan spoke to Jordie. Now, Evan was pushing for a meeting with the three of them. He knew that June and Jordie intended to accompany Michael on his upcoming tour, and that they would be gone for 5 months. He didn't want them to go, felt it was unsafe for Jordie. He called June and left a message on her answering machine, during which he insisted that she, Jordie, and Michael meet with him on July 9th. Bert Fields, working on behalf of June Chandler, as well as Michael Jackson, and Barry Rothman, Evan's attorney, negotiated an agreement whereby Evan would have custody of Jordie for a week. Reluctantly, June agreed to the terms, not wanting to keep the boy from his father. Anthony Policano, that's Michael Jackson's private investigator, and Bert Fields gave personal guarantees that Jordie would be delivered as promised. Barry Rothman then gave his word that Evan would return the boy on schedule. At the appointed time and place, Evan waited for his son to show up, but he never did. Instead, June decided to take Jordie and his sister, Lily, to Neverland to celebrate Lily's birthday with Michael Jackson. Is this bitch crazy? Is she crazy? Who's the pappy? Is it the Michael Jackson or Evan?